Marcus sulked the entire time. After church, I suggested we work on his college application essays since deadlines were coming up. Marcus rolled his eyes and said, David was handling his college planning because David went to an Ivy League school and actually understood what admissions committees wanted. That stunned me because I've been saving for Marcus' college fund since he was born. I have about $40,000 set aside, which isn't huge but would cover several years at a state school. Apparently, David was pushing for private universities that cost twice as much. Sunday lunch was supposed to be our quality time before I drove Marcus back to Jessica's house. I made his favorite grilled cheese sandwiches and tomato soup, something we'd enjoyed together since he was little. Marcus ate without enthusiasm and kept checking his phone. Finally, I asked Marcus directly what was going on with his attitude lately. I said he seemed unhappy during our visits and was constantly comparing everything to David's lifestyle. Maybe we could talk about what was bothering him. Marcus put down his phone and looked at me like I was incredibly dense. He said nothing was bothering him except that I couldn't accept reality about how his life had improved since David came around. According to Marcus, I was jealous of David's success and took it out on him during visits. I told Marcus that wasn't true and that I was happy his mom had found someone who made her happy. But constantly hearing about David's superiority during our limited time together was getting old. Maybe we could focus on our own relationship instead of outside comparisons. Marcus laughed and said there was no comparison between David and me. David was successful, sophisticated, and actually cool to be around. I was just a regular guy who couldn't accept that Jessica had moved on to something better. Then came the line that changed everything. Marcus looked me straight in the eye and said, honestly, you're just bitter because mom upgraded. The word upgraded hit like a punch to the gut. My own son was telling me his mother had traded up from me to a better model, like I was some outdated appliance that got replaced with a newer version. I sat there for maybe 10 seconds processing what Marcus had said. He was staring at me with his smug expression like he just delivered the perfect comeback. Apparently, reducing his father to a discarded upgrade was his idea of winning an argument. I stood up without saying anything, walked to the kitchen counter where Marcus' car keys were sitting next to my wallet, picked up the keys, and put them in my pocket. Marcus asked what I was doing, but I didn't answer. I got my jacket and told Marcus I was driving him back to his mom's house early. He protested that we were supposed to hang out for a few more hours, but I was already heading toward the door. Marcus grabbed his backpack and followed me to my car. The drive to Jessica's house was completely silent. Marcus tried making conversation a few times, but I wasn't interested. When we arrived, I told him to have a good week at school. He asked about his car keys, and I told him I'd think about it. Marcus got out looking confused and annoyed. I drove away while he was still standing in the driveway trying to figure out what had happened. Let him explain to Jessica why he was home early and why he didn't have his car. That evening, Jessica called asking why Marcus was upset and where his car keys were. I told her that Marcus had made some very hurtful comments and needed to learn about consequences. She tried getting details, but I said Marcus could explain his own behavior. Monday morning, my phone started buzzing around 7:30. Marcus was calling repeatedly, but I was in meetings and couldn't answer. By lunch, I had 6 missed calls and several angry text messages demanding his car keys back. Marcus' texts started demanding and got increasingly desperate. First, he was angry that I was being petty and holding his transportation hostage. Then he was worried about missing school activities and looking stupid in front of friends. Finally, he was begging me to just give him the keys back. I didn't respond to any of the messages.